5 things you need to do if you want to become financially free in 2023 recession using property as a vehicle. Look, more people become millionaires in recessionary time than in any other time. So this up and coming recession we're going into is a massive time of opportunity. So if you want to use property as a vehicle to build long-term wealth and financial freedom, you're going to want to watch this video and follow these 5 steps. But before we get into that, make sure you smash that like button because we release videos like this every week. So if you're serious about using property to build your wealth, make sure you smash that like button right now. So in this video, I'm going to give you 5 things you need to be doing to build wealth and financial freedom using property as a vehicle in the recession that's coming up in 2023. But be warned, if you miss one of these 5 things off, do not come back moan at me if you don't get the results that you desire. But before we even start, I'm going to put a little bit of a disclaimer out there. Depending where you are in your journey, like 2023, depending where you're on your journey, whether you're starting up or scaling up, might be the seeds that you plant to start building your wealth and your financial freedom, or it might be the building blocks, building on the scaling up what you're doing to build your financial freedom. Just depends where you start. We always start at different places, but journey of 1,000 miles starts with 1 step. I think it's an old proverb or from somewhere. We've got to start somewhere. So the principle behind this video is becoming financially free in 2023. That becoming financially free might be your first steps towards that and building the foundation of that, not necessarily being financially free. So one big tip, which is a bonus one, is be patient with this. Using property to build wealth and financial freedom takes time and effort. So if you're willing to do that, let's get into the 5 things that you should be doing to build this wealth and financial freedom. Number 1 is educate yourself. So the biggest asset, Warren Buffett says this, you have to invest in yourself. You are your number 1 asset. And when you pay attention. Look, depending where you are on your journey, look, this is the property delta matrix, and this is the methodologies I use to teach and train people. But money, knowledge, network, and time are the 4 ingredients anybody needs. And you've got to ask yourself, how much I've got of each of these? From 0 to 10, what have I got of each of these? And the closer you are to 10 with all of these, the quicker you can extend this wealth. Like, this is wealth in property. So you need active income to keep on feeding your purchases. You need buy-to-lets, you need the BRR, you need HMOs, SAs, commercial conversion and development. If you build an all-weather portfolio and a solid residual portfolio that can weather any storm. But depending where you are, the closer you are to 10 on these depends on what level of education you need. Look, if you're close to 0, you're starting up, but you're not looking to scale up, you're looking to start up, you might start in places like this, YouTube channels, you might start with things like that, books, you start with podcasts, you get a bit of education. But what I advise you to do is once you've got a grand understanding of it, you then go and invest in yourself. And depending where you are, what sort of finances you've got, how quickly you want to move, what transferable skills you've got, will depend how much you do invest in yourself. I'm not suggesting anybody should go off and get a £10,000, £100,000 mentorship or mastermind group if you're starting out and you've only got 10k. Invest in your full 10k. If you've got 10k, I'd look at maybe investing £500, £1,000, maybe £2,000. But you do want to invest a proportion of your money into your self-education, because when you pay attention, and you also pay in 2 ways. A lot of people say, look, all the information's for free. Yes, use free information, but you're going to pay either with time or you're going to pay with money. And money replenishes and comes back. Time does not. You don't get time back. Super wealthy people spend money to save time. Poor people spend time to save money. You won't get that money back. So if you can buy a program that gives you all the templates, fast forwards and gives you a logical steps, instead saves you time going on all these YouTube channels, hours and hours finding all this information, then typing up all the systems and everything you need. If you've got a program, you can just plug that in, copy and paste, press go. That is massively valuable to you, not just of saving you time and how quickly it's going to start producing money in between that time. So the opportunity cost of you figuring this all out and putting this all together yourself. So invest in yourself, but relevant to where you are in your journey and relevant to how much money you've got. If you've got only 10k, I wouldn't suggest putting all of that into an education program unless you've got access to funds, you've got people that are investing in you, you get a mentor, and you really game on. Because if one of miss off here is courage, confidence, conviction. You've got great conviction and courage, then you might do that. But do it relevant to where you are in your journey, but definitely invest in yourself. Number two, key in property is cash flowing assets. In this market, in a recession, you need to get a cash flow positive asset, and you need to get one with a high yield. Look, this is the example of this. If you bought my property, I've got property in Southend-on-Sea. The mortgage on that is £500 a month. It is a service accommodation, which is very vulnerable. But the reality is, that's at about 3.5% interest rate. At 7% interest rate, I'm paying £1,000 a month on that. The rent on that as a single let only would cover around £1,000 to £1,100. So the reason I'm comfortable with the lending on that is because I've got an all-weather portfolio. I've got assets elsewhere. So if the interest rates did go up, I could ride that out. But if you're getting your first property, you've got to make sure this can handle a rate rise. So for example, property in the north that I've just bought, I bought for 70 odd K. The mortgage on that, I can't remember off the top of my head exact figures, but the mortgage on that's probably about 150, and I rent it for about £700. Let's say the mortgage is £200. If the mortgage doubles on that at £400, I've still got a good margin in there to absorb that rate rise. Of course, my profit starts going down, but I've still got a margin in there. And what you've got to remember is smaller margins, as long as it can handle the rate rises, are better than no margins and your money eroding in the bank. You've got to net even what you'd be earning. Like some people, my investors are coming to me at the moment saying, it's only going to earn £200 a month or £180 a month. Is it worth it? So well, tell me this, is it worth leaving your money in the bank to lose? If you've got 25k in the bank, you're losing about £90 a month. So would you rather earn 180 a month or lose £90 a month? And the way we do property, especially when you do this foundational stuff on your weather portfolio and the property delta matrix, is our buy to lets a pretty guaranteed income. If you want to know more about that, put guaranteed income below and I'll give you some understanding of how you can get guaranteed incomes from buy to lets. But this is not the video for that now. Number three is you've got to make sure you add value to these properties. Either buy discounted, which is become a buyer's market, or you add significant value to it from doing refurbishments. I'm not sure if there's any spaces still left on this, but if you want to join me on Patch, where I'll show you how to add value in refurbishments, PID OPC on Patch Coaching in the comments, and you can come and join me in Stockton-on-Tees if you're not watching this video too late. But if you want to come and join me at the time of recording, there's a few spaces left, but you've got to add value, but you've got to do this smartly and not over leverage yourself, and relevant to where you are in your journey and how far up the delta matrix are, how far across from 0 to 10 on knowledge, network, time and money you are. Because look, if you have not got a lot of knowledge and experience, you've not got much network, and you've not got much money, and you're trying to do a commercial conversion, this could wipe you out in the crash. You've got to make sure you mitigate the downside as well. Number four is creating active income. I've added this to, I've evolved the property delta matrix. Before it stopped there, but I've just evolved the property delta matrix to add the active income at the bottom, because this feeds up into all of these. Doing BRR on its own, especially in this market, BRR is still going to work. BRR works all the time, but banks get a bit more cautious and a bit more pessimistic the way they lend. So they will lend very lower and not so aggressive with their lending. So even if you find a good deal, don't be surprised with the BRR strategy, you don't get the valuation you want, even if there's comparables, because the banks is going to put pressure on the surveyors. Surveyors then go off, and because of their indemnity insurance, some of them are still getting sued since 08 crash. Because their indemnity insurance, they're allowed to value within 10%, and most of them are going 10% lower now because they want to keep it safe in case the market dips and the bank don't put the pressure on them. Some banks just put direct pressure on those as well to keep on valuing lower. So you do want to BRR potentially if you don't over leverage yourself, and it can handle that, but you also need that active income coming in as well. What's going to drive that? And my advice is to make sure you get active income within the ecosystem of property. I've done a video on this, how you can get potentially 10k a month if you're super on it, but either way you could get 2, 3, 5, 10k a month extra to put towards your deposit of active income, doing exactly the same thing with no extra effort. And you want to learn that, as I said, watch this video. And the last one we're going to cover, number 6, is building an online profile. This is single-handedly the most powerful thing you can do in a business to accelerate the growth of it. If you're starting up, it's accelerate the startup growth. If you're scaling up, it's accelerate it. Do you have to create content and be online? No. Can you still do it without being online? Absolutely. But what you've got to make peace with is you're going to leave a lot on the table if you do not implement a online strategy. Business is done with people they know, like and trust. Builders, estate agents, solicitors, accountants. Everybody is online today, and the quicker people can get to know you and trust you, the quicker they're going to want to do business with you, and the quicker you're going to grow your wealth. Your network is your net worth. I really find that saying cheesy, but There's no other way you can explain it. And I say that saying lots because it is so true, even though I find it cheesy. The quicker you both, there's a direct correlation between the speed you grow your network and the speed you grow your wealth. So if you want to speed up your journey and your scale up, 100% the most, you want to give an in proportionary amount of time and attention towards how you can create content and get your message out there and get people to know you. This will attract investors, agents, solicitors, brokers, everybody, as I just said, are all online. So you want to get yourself online so you can start networking online and you can start leveraging your online profiles as an asset. Because if people get to know you, you can do business with them. You create content once and it constantly out there, getting people, like working on your behalf for people to get to know you, networking on your behalf basically. And even when you go networking in person, when you walk into a room, if you've done a lot of content, some people in that room will recognize you, and it speeds, it just narrows, it shrinks the gap between the point of somebody wanting to do business with you and doing business with you. Google done a study, they called it zero moment of truth. This is the moment when people build enough trust with people. When they say set 11 touch points across 4 different places is when the average person builds enough trust to buy from you, do business with you, to loan you money, to invest in you. So if you've got an online profile across different platforms, you're building them trust points out before you've even met them. So when you meet them, it just speeds up that transition. And raising capital in this environment correctly, it's not a video for this now, is going to be also critical, getting your right JV partners and the investment in place, because the banks are going to lend a little bit more cautiously. But listen, my way is to live my terms. My mission is to help as many people live on their terms using business, education, financial education and mindset as a vehicle to do that. So if you've not done it already, please smash that like button, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. As I said, we release videos twice a week, every week on this subject. If you think somebody's going to find this useful, please share this, tag somebody in. If you're at that stage where you want to take your education further and you want to join me on an on-patch training day where I'll take you to Stockton-on-Tees in the Northeast, my area, we'll go into my office, we'll teach you loads of the practical, the physical stuff, is it physical or practical? We'll teach you loads of stuff in the office. We'll give you some e-learning before you turn up, some training that you take away with that. Then we'll take you out to put in practice what you learn in theory. So we give you theory stuff, then the practice stuff to go out. So you go around and you will analyze a refurb, one of the ones we've got going on at the moment. And all this is going to be just under £400. So it's not a mega investment. So it's definitely a good starter level one. It's even good for people scaling up. Coming and touching a refurb rather than being trained, watching YouTubes is very, very, very different. So if you want to join me on my on-patch training day, put OPC in the comments and me or one of my team members will get back in contact with you to sign you up. It's just under £400 and a massive amount of value. But remember, if you don't evolve your ideas, you never live on your own terms. So evolve your ideas, live on your own terms and have an amazing day.